Welcome back to the Den of Nerds. I am Josh, and I want to talk about Superman. Full spoiler review here. And I might as well start off by saying I liked it. Some of you still don't believe that I did somehow. So in this video, I'll take you through the spoiler version, the things that I really liked, what connected with me, how I view some of the more controversial decisions in the film, like, you know, evil Superman dad.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Let's get into it all. So first off, let me just say this is not a perfect movie, but I did fall in love with it. That's genuine. Like, I actually did fall in love with the movie, but I fully recognize it's not a perfect film. In fact, I would say it's not even James Gunn's best movie. I don't even think it's the best Superman movie. However, the movie meets this moment of launching the DCU, starting this universe, and presenting a new version of Superman to this generation, and it meets that moment perfectly to me. Obviously, if this movie would have been perfect, I probably would have liked it even more. But the thing is, the core of this movie and what it actually does accomplish is such a big deal and shocked me, threw me off, like really surprised me that I just have to give it credit for that, right? So it's really great in a way I wasn't expecting, and I did fall in love with it. Now, the beginning part of the movie is kind of sloppy for me. You know, Superman has already been beaten in this fight. There's a texting kind of thing where he's talking about 3,000 years, 300 years before that. 3 decades ago, Superman, and then 3 minutes ago, he got its ass kicked. It's weird, it's sloppy, and then you get into the Fortress of Solitude, and we've seen some of these scenes before, so you're kind of like on board, but also they're throwing a lot at you. It's a little bit weird. Superman is Superman. Like, he is performing as Superman throughout the entire thing. The sensibilities, the nonverbal communication, the way he talks to the robots, all of it, man. He's like ready to go, wants to get back into the fray, and he has this like boyish charm, this enthusiasm that's just so real and pure. And thank God that that existed. I mean, dude, getting Dave Cornsweet as Superman here, huge win for James Gunn and the DCU, because he's fucking perfect, dude. And if he wasn't as good as he is, I feel like this movie would have fallen apart for me. So about 20 minutes into the movie, after a lot of the early stuff that's getting us into the main conflict, I was sitting there kind of surprised. I didn't find myself hating a lot of the stuff I thought I was going to hate. Like, I thought I would really not like the humor and the James Gunn humor that was going to be splattered all over it. I was a little worried about Luthor and his characterization. I was a little bit worried about Clark and how he was presented. I was worried about a lot of little things. And about 25 minutes into the film, I was not bothered by any of those things, which was good. But I was also not grabbed by the movie. I wasn't gripped. I wasn't really invested. And I actually had the thought, I really remember having this thought. And it was like, oh man, this is crazy because everybody's wrong about all the things that are hurting this film. The truth is, it's just not that good. Then something kind of crazy happened. See, a lot of the world and the characters that are presented in the early parts of this film are just like there and established, and you kind of have to just roll with it. All of them end up having important conversations about Superman, specifically because of the plot point of Luthor decrypting the message and doing the whole evil Superman thing. Now, this is obviously a very controversial thing. People are going to feel differently about this. It is essentially that Jor-El had sent a message with Superman. The first part of that message was pretty hopeful and just loving parents and whatnot. And that's all that Clark ever saw, right? Like, all Clark ever saw was the first part of that message. The second part of the message, which they really do kind of hammer you over the head with, like, this is authentically the message. This is not fake, whatever. I think this is the message. The second part of the message is Jor-El and his mom basically saying, you're going to rule over these people. They're simple. They're weak. Destroy anybody that stands against you. Take many wives and spread your seed and actually bring Krypton back in that way. Like, you gotta rule over these stupid Earthlings. And that's a little fucked, right? Like, that's a little wild to hear. And that gets broadcast over the whole world. And what was really cool about it was all the conflict that then happens for Clark, for the character of Superman in that moment. Like, the Justice Gang for me was like just okay, but when they confront Clark after this, and especially Guy Gardner, when he straight up says, like, dude, if that is true, or if any part of that is true, then you're exactly the kind of alien threat that I took an oath to protect this planet against. Which is some real shit. That's some comic book shit too, but it's also some real shit. And I loved how we got there. Didn't love how we started. I'm gonna be honest. It's just like, oh, we're in it, and it just is. But what they end up doing with the character and how it comes to a head in the conflict for that scene was cool. And conversely, this puts Lois in a really interesting position. And I love when she said to Clark, I never thought that of you, not even for a second, which is cool. Maybe she's even lying to him in that moment, but she's lying because she cares, right? I mean, this is stuff that she's probably thought about, and that message has to be absolutely shocking. But at the same time, I think there was truth in the fact that she felt like Clark as a person, the person she knew, would not do that. In this way, the movie uses a sort of chaotic and scattered group of characters and circumstances and ends up consolidating all of that around the questions of Superman. And even though the evil Superman thing is kind of contrived, like it's not super original, it does an incredible job of putting a laser point focus on the film, and it forces all of the different fears about what Superman could represent and the way to look past it and find the hope of what he represents. It just is like a beautiful way to bring all of that together. From that moment on, to me, the film started to actually work. And look, it's certainly not perfect. There's some silly stuff that I didn't exactly love. There's some character stuff that was supposed to be so big and important. Like, I'll be honest with you, Metallo is cool in the movie, but this whole thing where he's in the jail cell and he watches Luthor murder the guy, and then that's the thing that like really affected him. Like, I don't know, for some reason it just didn't work for me. Like, I didn't feel at all like that was a natural progression of that character. I guess you don't really get to know that character at all, but it just, that part didn't individually work for me. But David is so sincere and so hopeful throughout the whole thing that he's the anchor to that. And it's really the fact that this guy that's broken and desperate chooses to find hope and believe in Superman. So as sloppy as it is, and as much as it does feel like there were issues and perhaps some things that were changed and some stuff that's not just working perfectly, it actually has a laser focus on the most fucking important thing, and that is, who is Superman? What does he actually stand for? And the thing that really worked for me was you get to this point with the character of Clark where like you get it, you understand him. And to me, it was when he goes back home to his family. And it's not just the scenes with Superman and his dad, although I loved that scene, and I think what Gunn did with the Kents here deserves a lot of praise. I thought it was great. I thought it was a risky move, something that Hollywood might not love for various different reasons, but the depiction of these characters hit fucking home for me. But it actually starts even before that. It's when you get into his room and Lois is just looking around his room. Now, this is after a point in the film where David has this line where he deadass says, maybe that's the real punk rock, when Lois says, like, you think everybody's beautiful and shit like that, right? And that line has every reason to be corny, every reason to be unbelievable and silly and stupid. And yet David performs it with such authenticity, such earnest, just honesty, man. Like it was still kind of like, really, bro, but also real. And you're like, fuck, like he really is that fucking lame, and also has that big of a heart. And when Lois is looking around his room and just seeing the child that Clark was, like, you kind of get a sense of his environment, of who he actually is at his home. There's something about that, man. It's like a great way to peel back some of the layers and just show us fully and authentically who this character is. And it just fucking works because then you are rooting for him. Then it becomes cathartic as he overcomes this reputation. It becomes cathartic as he overcomes Lex Luthor and the attempts to kill him and destroy his legacy. It feels cathartic to watch him make being a good person cool. And I did not expect that. It really did surprise me, but it just works for me. There's something earnest about how those mechanics are working together within this film to just make you root for Superman, make you understand who he is, and sort of peel back the layers as you go through the film. And on top of that, I think the third act does a great job of upping the spectacle. Like, it's awesome. It's all over the place. There's visual craziness, like black holes and dimensions opening. There's that crazy lava river of like antimatter. You get the Justice Gang stopping the war, doing crazy stuff. Green Lantern's visual effects were great. Hawkgirl's great in those scenes. Metamorpho's great in those scenes. Mr. Terrific steals every scene he is in, and he is fucking awesome. And kudos to Gunn for putting such a cool comic book character into a big ass movie like this. Now so many more people know about Mr. Terrific, and that is fucking cool. And goddamn, does Mr. Terrific get some incredible shine in this film. Maybe even more shine than Superman. Like, the scene that Lois says, like, holy shit to, yeah, it's dope as hell. Something about the swagger that dude has, man, and the fun he is having while being who he is. It was really cool. I also love that he wanted to piss off Green Lantern. That felt right. A lot of folks are saying it has the vibe of the Justice League Unlimited show, and I absolutely agree with that. I would also add to that I was shocked at how not James Gunn this movie was. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a James Gunn movie, obviously, and it has his DNA and fingerprints all over it, but this is the most dialed back I have ever seen Gunn's sensibilities. I think he goes for it. I think he's very, you know, risque, infantile, you know, likes to push the envelope. This was so respectful, so reserved, and silly and goofy and fun, but in a way that I felt really matched the overall tone. I was so worried about that, and honestly, had zero problem with it. Like, he nailed it. I don't know, man. I just like the movie. I know there's like a whole fan war going on right now, and a lot of people saying that the movie's not that good, and maybe you watch this review of mine and you're like, yeah, but there's all the stuff you didn't like in it and all that. Like, what's up with that? I tried to explain it the best I can. The movie just works for me, and I really love and respect what it did and what it was trying to do. I will also add that I hope all of the other ones are much better. Like, they should all be much better than this, but this is good. I like this. Did you see Superman? Did you like it? Did you hate it? And now you hate me? Let me know in the comment section below. And as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.